Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how I installed a folding workbench in my garage to take my shop from this to this. And you're going to learn from my mistakes. Let's do it. You can install this folding table on any wall. I'm doing it in my shop. I've moved my cabinets apart and I'm going to be putting it under my pegboard. So the first thing that you need to do is find the studs, because I'm going to build a frame that the table is going to go on. So I'm going to make my vertical frame supports out of these 1x3s, and they're going to be 18 inches long. There's going to be 4 of them going up and down. And then my horizontal support is going to be out of a 2x4. And the whole size of my table is going to be a 4 foot by a 2 foot, pretty much the same frame as you see this pegboard. But you can make it any size you want just by adding or removing the folding legs that I'll show you how I'm going to make. So let's measure these and cut them. And this is the 2x4 that is going to run the length of the top of the frame on the wall, so it's going to be 4 foot long. So I want the top of my folding table to be the same height as my cabinets, which are going to be on both sides, and it's going to be flush all the way across. So I want that 2x4, which is going to go vertically right here, to be as level as possible and at the same height where the hinges are going to attach to it to the table. And then my vertical supports are going to be behind that. So I'm going to drill some pilot holes where my deck screws are going to go through the 1x3s into the studs in the wall. And these are going in about 3 to 4 inches apart from one another. Okay, I got my frame attached to the wall. That's where I want it to go. And now I'm going to prep the top board. The board is a 2 foot by 4 foot sanded plywood, 3/4 inch thick. I am going to reinforce it with some 1x4s underneath just to get it a little bit more sturdiness. And I'm also going to cut off the corners on both sides just so I don't have a corner sticking out, because my cabinets actually don't come out as far as where the end of the table is going to go. So I'm just going to get rid of any snags on that. So I don't have a table saw, I only have a skill saw, and I want this cut to be as straight as possible. And I don't have my own jig, so I'm going to make a jig out of my level and some clamps that I have. Okay, I'm going to be using a 2x10 as my legs that are going to swing out from the frame on the wall. And I'm going to have 2 of them, and they're each going to be 16 inches long, so that I can fold them inward when not in use, or when the table is down rather, and then when the table is up, they'll swing out into place and hold everything up. So I'm going to measure those and cut those and get the hinges on them and attach them. So this is how I'm configuring the hinged legs that are going to fold out from the wall. So imagine this is the support against the wall, and this is my leg. When it's closed, it's going to be flush with the support, and then when it's open, it'll be like this. So in order for it to work that way, I'm going to attach a 1x3 to the bottom side of the tabletop. That way, when it's hinged down, it comes to rest right there on the top of that 2x10. And then it can be folded back up, and this hinged leg can be folded flush against the wall, just like that. For the swinging legs, I'm using these 3-inch gate hinges. Okay, I have the folding legs in place. You can see when they fold, they're flush against the platform, and then when they come out, they'll be able to support the folding table. So now I'm going to use the 1x3s to cut off a supporting arm that will attach to the bottom of the table and rest right on top of these arms to give it the full support. So I'm going to measure these and cut them and attach them to the table. So I'm going to attach the tabletop to the frame with these piano hinges. And these piano hinges are 1.5 inches by 12 inches long. And I'm going to put 2 of them, probably side by side right here. And then I think I will actually put 3.5-inch hinges on the corners as well. I'm not sure, we'll see how it goes. Oh, and I wanted to point this out to you. So I ended up putting a little shim in between this outer facing 2x4 and then the 1x3 that's into the stud. I wasn't getting a flush surface right here between the swinging leg and the 2x4. So I wanted to bring this 2x4 out a little bit. So put a little shim in there, and I think it's all good now. Okay, I have the hinges attached to the top of the table, or actually to the bottom of the table. So I'm going to flip it over, rest it on my swinging legs, and then screw them into the base right here. Got some light under here so you can see what's going on. So you can see the bottom of the piano hinges right here, and everything is resting on the folding legs. So I can just screw these hinges into this backboard and everything should be in place. Okay, and while we're down here, you can see that it lines up pretty well with where the board is. I had to actually push this board over so that it would, when this leg is closed, it'll lie flat against the wall. And same thing for this one. This one is actually a little bit more flush. And I'll probably put stoppers on the outside of these 1x4s, or these 1x3s, so that the legs don't go too far out. So let's fold the legs in and drop it down and see how it looks. So my 1x3s are actually too close to this 2x4. I should have seen that, and so I can take it off and move it forward, or probably cut some of it out. So I think I'll cut some of it out, and it'll be about 2 inches that I have to cut off from that end. And the bad thing about it is I glued those on there. So yeah. Okay, let's try this again. Got it. So I just had to move that 1x3 over just a little bit more so that when it closed, it went right beside the other one. Okay, so here's my folding workbench. And so now I'm going to seal it, clean it up. I'll probably put 1x4 on the top of here so you don't see these back studs, and put the cabinets together, and then I will be done with it. Alright, so I'm finished up for the most part. I put a router edge along the edge, and I put a cedar plank on top, and stained everything with a polyacrylic stain. It only has 1 coat on it right now, but I'll probably put at least 1 more, maybe even 3 coats on it. And I think it looks pretty good, but you judge for yourself, and I hope you learn from my mistakes, and we'll see you next time.